Welcome to a continuation of the futuristic fantasy series, Humanity's Evolution. Today I'm going to read Part 14. His lecture ended, creating a complete moment of silence. Dave stared unblinkingly at all of us and then left. The spell broke. "He is amazing," I said to Gershom. "Yes, he is," he said, but the look on Gershom's face said otherwise. "What's wrong?" I asked. My companion shrugged his shoulders. "I had hoped Dave's conclusions would not simply echo yours," Gershom admitted. "He has a flair for presenting multiple sides of an issue. I'm disappointed he didn't bother this time." He expressed the same dissatisfaction with Sandra. I understood why, and yet earlier he wanted me to consider Dave for our committee. A committee I refused to fully create until the Planet Project had been officially approved. On the surface, Dave's endorsement would seem to be exactly what Gershom would want. I pointed this out to him. "Not exactly," Gershom corrected. "I wanted you to tell Ezekiel that you had committee members in mind before the vote. This will reassure the Little Dragons that if the Planet Project is approved, you, the committee's strongest advocate, has qualified representatives committed to creating the social code. That is not the same thing as what Dave did." He was being unreasonable. But before I could tell him so, Dave came towards us. The lecturer seemed even taller up close. He and Gershom shook hands, and then he shook mine. His hand felt both strong and delicate at the same time. "It is a pleasure to finally meet you in person, Anne," he said. His voice was still soft, but it sounded more shy than mesmerizing. "You are a very impressive lecturer," I said. He then laughed a pleasant sound. "I cheat, as Gershom no doubt told you," he said, turning to my companion, who gave him a knowing smile. I shook my head at his outrageous comment and had to concentrate on suppressing my own smile. "Your research is sound. Using a tactic or two to capture an audience's attention is not a way of cheating, but a necessity," I said. "I wish I had your gift." Dave gave a gracious nod of thanks. "I found your own lecture captivating." "Is that why you didn't bother to present an opposing point of view?" Gershom asked him. Dave turned towards my companion. "I admit I was tempted because you also presented yourself well in your debate, if you based it solely on facts. I would have gone with your side, Gershom. But Anne presented a unique point of view that I never considered. The Planet Project's inhabitants, enlightened with our knowledge, could surpass us. There was a real possibility that the one who created us knew this, and would bless this course of action. What a legacy that would be for our race to create inhabitants unburdened by our ancestors' struggles for human equality." His words moved me, but not Gershom. "Even at the expense of free choice?" he pushed. "Now you are getting into an entirely different debate," Dave protested. "I don't think we are removing free choice. We are simply explaining the knowledge the inhabitants would use to make their own choices." Gershom shook his head in disagreement, but didn't say anything more. Dave turned back to me. "I am interested in being on your committee," he said. I glanced over at Gershom, who was looking at both of us. "If the vote passes, I will keep it in mind," I promised him. Dave wasn't disappointed. "Sandra said you were hesitant to select members until after the vote, but I still thought it best to let you know anyway." "Well, we won't have to wait too much longer," Gershom said, drawing our eyes to him. "The scientist who proposed the project will be speaking momentarily. Then it will be time for the vote." My heart warred between excitement and dread. Once the Little Dragons made their decision, there would be no going back. That ends Part 14 of Humanity's Evolution. Part 15 will be read on February 19th. Next week, a new video series called Storytime Adventures for Adults will be starting, in which we will be listening to Meg Swanson's fantasy book, Songs from the Depths. To learn more, visit my website, www.reneeannhughes.com. If you would like to contribute to this series, please feel free to become a Patreon. Details for joining are on my website, and also please subscribe to this YouTube channel so you won't miss any new videos. Goodbye, and thanks for listening.